Hello, good evening. My name is Bita Sadanandan, and today is 15th of March 2026, and the time of day is 6:35 p.m. The area of body we will be maintaining health of by the Nirbeeja Yoga style is the region of the thyroids, the band of the neck tissue, about where is the thyroid gland. Now, I have just come out from a podcast I made on Mighty Radio, on Spotify, Mighty Radio, MITIRADIO. And I was talking about Akashic concerns. So, why am I saying that? Acknowledging the elephant in the room is an important part of maintaining health. So, what's the predominant thought on your mind, or that which is often going back and forth in your thought lines or in your emotions or in your physical sensation, is an important part of noticing what's there in the present moment. Because this, so to speak, elephant in the room could be occupying your attention so much so that it's difficult for you to be in the present moment. So once the elephant in the room is acknowledged, it becomes a little more possible to notice what else is there in the room of the present moment. And for me, in this geographical location, I'm in Srinagar right now, South Bengaluru, the geography is different from where you may be listening to this from. Yeah. And the region of the thyroid is common to people who have an alive human body, no matter where the geographical location you are, or I and you are listening, speaking from. And the experience of the region of the thyroid at this point in time, it's evening for me here, would be different from what it was in the morning. Nevertheless, how can we notice how are things at this point in time is by paying attention to the region of the neck and notice the left and right sides of the neck, because that's about the region which tends to get tense from the activities of the day. So people may be standing, sitting, reclining, different postures depending on how the work day has demanded for them to have a posture. And consequently, their neck muscles may be tense from the posture they have consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously, supraconsciously assumed, taken in the course of delivering what they needed to make available through the day. Now, while their body may have taken different postures, their conscience, which also gets affected by conscious, subconscious, unconscious, superconscious processes, has an effect on their bodily well-being. So the soft substance has an effect on the bodily well-being. Consequently, what happens in the region of the neck would be also a consequence of what happens between the head and, let's say, the rest of the body. Yeah. The heart and brain may or may not be talking to each other because of conscience concerns. Some people have hidden their conscience in the process of facilitating their different activities. And where is conscience in the body? It's an aspect of truth, an aspect of knowing, which when you hide has an effect on your emotional states, in your physical states, in your ability to feel or not feel, your ability to be, how you relate with other people. The sense of guilt may be something that you don't acknowledge. And so you may put a front of anger, or a sense of grief may be there. So, and you don't want to feel grief. So you put on a front of anger or a front of happy. Or you could have fear, but you may be putting on a front of all is well. What are you talking about? But in their sleep, sometimes even if they're having a power nap, it helps. So their sleep is a time when their different levels of consciousness talk to each other and lets you know what you need to know so that you can make those fine corrections. So sleep is also um, the other side of consciousness, where your different consciousness processes could then bring forth information by which you can then make corrections once you wake up in the morning, once you wake up from your sleep. So, why am I saying this? I tend to do this during the workday. Go about your daily activities, you feel a little tired, a little power nap sometimes lets you know what's bothering in your different levels of consciousness. And then you could make a course correction activity. Once you know why you're tired, sometimes your tiredness may be coming from your different levels of consciousness know something, has picked up something from the environment, some signal, some information, which then, when you are in sync with your different levels of consciousness, your body finds a way to let you know from how well you are connected, yeah, between your physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, um, consciousness. I call it PICES. Physical, PISCES. Physical, intellectual, spiritual, consciousness, or rather conscience. Physical, intellectual, spiritual, conscience, emotional, social consciousness. PICES. Now, how is this related with the thyroid? What comes out of your mouth, whether or not you're speaking, the truthfulness by which you live your life is a consequence of what happens in the valley between your head and shoulders. Let me repeat that. Whether or not you're speaking something, the truthfulness by which you live your life is also what is happening in the region, in the valley between your head and shoulders. Okay? Now, your metabolic processes gets affected, but your emotional states or your ability to listen could also be from what comes out of your mouth. When you're not saying things which are happy or which you also wouldn't listen, that's when you could have hearing difficulties because you don't want to listen to what's coming out of your own mouth. That could be one thing. So what's happening in the region of your throat is from where voice comes out. So whether or not you like what you're saying, you're happy with what you're saying, that's also because of what's happening inside the different layers within you. Now, some people do not write what's happening inside them. It could be emotional processes. It could be things they can't say to anybody else. But inside their conscious, subconscious, unconscious, superconscious processes, they just keep going round and round. And that affects their emotional state, their ability to sleep, their ability to relate with other people, not because they want that to be that way, but because they don't know how else to process these bodily biological processes. Yeah. A lot of people don't have the practice of writing a journal or just writing out their thought stuff, emotional stuff, stuff that they can't tell anybody else. Not all of us have people to say everything that happens in our lives. We have different kinds of people. We have family members. We may or may not be able to say everything with family members. We have friends. We may or may not be able to speak everything with every family members. There's this movie called Dear Zindagi, which kind of covers a little, several aspects about this. But not speaking, not expressing the truth of what's really happening also has an effect on how your neck, your thyroid region is also functioning. You may or may not have a thyroid concern, but your ability to, your sense and sensibilities, your ability to speak, your ability to breathe, or in some way in your physiological processes could show up a, a certain incongruity between the truth of the matter, how things are said, how you are, how is the dynamics between different relationships, several things. So the neck is a relationship between the head and shoulders, a fine bottleneck. But when you can be aware of the region of your neck and can feel your tongue in a way that your tongue is relaxed, because your tongue is related with the hyoid bone. The bone of the tongue is the hyoid bone, yeah, so to speak. And if your tongue is a little tense, your hyoid bone may be a little tense, and the muscles related with it. And the hyoid bone is above the region of your voice box, thereabouts. So what you speak could also be related with how is your neck region, and how does the breath move, how does the food move through the neck. But also there are cranial nerves moving between the head and shoulders. So the health of the cranial nerves and how well the cervical spine is functioning affects, well, just about every part of the body. Yeah. Because if the body is not feeling well, the head is not feeling as well, because a lot of nervous connection information goes to the head. And what's happening in the head is also communicated through the cranial nerves to the body. Yeah. So if you can consider the whole body to be a heart. So how is the heart and brain connected? Yeah. You have a little bit of experience, a little awareness by how's your neck and how's your voice. Now, in maintaining the thyroid region, pay attention to the front of your neck, about the region of your Adam's apple. Men or women, you kind of can relate with where this Adam's apple area is. Yeah, that's about the region of the voice box. The thyroid is a region below it. Yeah, sometimes for some people it's a little thick because of how the thyroid glands are. Yeah, they may be a little tense from how much of work happens around here. Your metabolic efficiency is also determined by how your thyroid glands are feeling at a point in time. Yeah, circadian rhythms have an effect on the thyroid hormones. If you're taking a blood test, circadian rhythms have an effect on the thyroid hormone. Now, the best part about Nirbeeja Yoga is you don't have to say a thing. There is no chanting, there is no humming, there is no visualization, but there's a lot of awareness and mindfulness and present moment appreciation. So circadian rhythms, yes, but that those things becomes a little less accessible if you're not aware of your body tissues and the different textures of your body tissues itself. So these days, with their lives, I'm attempting to bring more awareness to the differences in body tissue textures. So in a part of the body, when you're a little more aware of the different tissue textures and how well they are related with each other, are they doing well, or are they in a discomforted relationship with each other? That would also bring a certain difficulty, and when you can bring a little ease there, but that also would be yoga, but at a level, so to speak. It's not exactly Nirbeeja Yoga, but that's a necessary step to having it. So I'm slowly developing content on learn.dynamicstillnesses.com, learn.dynamicstillnesses.com. So different stages of it. I'm just finishing certain necessary details in the ILH community from where I'm learning to make the courses. So one step at a time, slowly, slowly. I've been trying to teach this in some time, put it in a content in a referenceable format, but when you're kind of following people who have done that material in some time and have developed a community in having a lifestyle based on the internet, on how online content and then the lifestyle that can affected how it can show up. So it's better to follow the format which they recommend. So I'm developing the course content from based on what they recommend. The ILH community recommends. Mr. Siddharth Rajshekhar. So slowly, but if you're going to be on that link which I just recommended, you're more likely to find Nirbeeja Yoga content. And slowly we are developing that. But you will get to know about it first when you are there, and let your presence know there. Say hi. Yeah. All right. Now, the region of your thyroids gets affected by also how the sides of your neck are functioning, which is what we began this live with. Pay attention to the sides of your neck and notice the warmth, softness, and any sense of moisture in the sides or back of your neck. Okay, that's about the region where your spine is, but also there could be lymph nodes about the sides and back of your neck. There could also be tense muscles in the back and sides from standing up for a long time, or sitting, or reclining a bit. When if your posture is not so fine and you've had a tense situation, boss is screaming down your neck, or situations which you can't really scream back, but you have been holding on to, and then dealing with different challenges, sometimes emotional. Yeah. Your neck muscles, your shoulder muscles, upper shoulder muscles get all tense. And the region behind your heart also gets tense. Yeah. So it would help to have some Chyawanprash, is what I found in the past few days. But um, paying attention to your neck in terms of the air moving through your neck helps you notice that it's not all bad doomsday. Yeah. Because if you can feel the movement of air in your neck, yeah, between your head and shoulders, or head and lungs, yeah, so to speak. If you can feel the coolness, movement of air inside, it's not so bad. Yeah. You are still keeping your calm because your body is calm enough that you can feel it. No matter how tense the situation is, things will get better. When there's a calm in the storm also has another think, because you're calmer than the storm. Yeah. And health gets better. It's like a child who will be wailing and then having a nice little storm. But when you're maintaining the calm, the child has, the nervous system has another experience by which to find it than lose it. Yeah. And people who are more found can also be founders. Yeah. And then talking about stuff from finding it. And then you have something more to talk for people who tend to sometimes lose it. Yeah. Then, yeah, archaeologists have a lot to say from finding stuff. Yeah. Now, excuse me, I got a little sniffle in the course of this live. Okay. I've had a change in locations. That may be one thing. Or um, we are talking about a not so easy situation from also the time of the day, but also what's happening between the head and shoulders, maybe in the location that I'm speaking from. Nevertheless, continue to pay attention to any region below your ears, yeah, and above your shoulders, the sides of your neck, back of your neck, in terms of warmth, softness, and moisture. But now we will introduce something new. We will introduce the front versus back, the transverse plane, the front versus back. And the front tissues of your neck may be a little more heavier or tenser than the back. Excuse me. If you notice the front region of your neck being a little more heavier than the back, there could be grief of one or the other kind. That's something that I found quite often about the region of the neck, about the thyroids, about the region of the voice box. Grief tends to be an emotion that tends to be about the neck because of what you said, couldn't say, um, and it's an emotional organ, this neck. You can call it as an organ, so to speak, part of the body. Yeah, metabolism. I cannot say if metabolism is affected by grief, but your voice definitely is affected by grief. Yeah, if your voice tends to get a little thick when you're having a little grief, a little uncried tears, so to speak. Yeah, uncried emotions. You can't really say emotions, uncried tears. You kind of like hold that in the tissues, the liquid of the tears. Maybe sometimes also come from these body tissues. Where does tears come from? Is a question. But try and bring attention to any sense of that coolness, so to speak, from air moving through your throat, through your neck. That's like a little turning on the fan or a Japanese hand fan, so to speak. When it's all hot, when the fan is on, even if things are hot, a little difficult, a little emotional, things tend to cool down over time, slowly. At least we open the windows, turn on the fan. This is a fan from inside your body. Yeah, gentle, calm, kind. But if you can pay attention to any sense of gentle, calm, kind, your um, tissues are having a moment like baby with the mother. It may take a while. The tension in your tissues may take a while calming down, but continue to pay attention to gentle, calm, kind in the movement of your breath, in the movement, any sense of movement about your neck. Yeah, the tissues can move as they are, but when you're paying attention to gentle, calm, kind, your tissues have a moment to, I can't say cry by not crying. So this is a different kind of a cry. Yeah, where your tissues go through a little bit of the calm of the moment and hence go beyond the thick of it. Okay, it's a different kind of a cry. When you're crying, the thick just becomes light. But here, the light, you're paying attention to the light, and the thick goes beyond the thick. Yeah, so it's a different kind of a cry. But here you're just being calm, kind, and gentle. Okay, it might take a little while, and your tissues may go through a little moment. And as you're paying attention to the rhythm of your breath, so to speak, your tissues are having a rhythm of their own, a rhythm of breath of their own, because your tissues are, well, part of a living body. They would go through their wavy movements or their movements in their own time when you continue to pay attention to gentle, calm, kind, anywhere about the tissues of your neck. And the thick of the matter moves through their motions. This is not emotion, this is just motion, but you're staying with the calm, gentle kind. Okay? So it may feel a little like the tissues are crying, but you can't hear them, see them, feel them cry. It's just a different kind of a uh, and if you're going to stay with the calm, gentle kind, your chest may notice some amount of deeper breath, some amount of calm from your tissues crying by not crying. Yeah, like not cry. You're just staying with the calm, kind, and gentle. So they're like mother with baby, or baby with mother. Yeah. Kind of, no, no. You're only staying with the gentle, calm, and kind. Yeah. And you won't even know what changed. Yeah. But when it feels a little like, yeah, a little like enough. Yeah. Or if it's not feeling enough, stay a little more while. Yeah. I say gentle, calm, and kind. Yeah. You can drink some water if you want to, but if you're having something warm to drink, that will be nicer because your tissues are kind of a little recuperating, relaxing, recuperating. I would recommend warm water than curd or any of that stuff or any vegetables because warmth go well with softness and calm and gentle and kind and yeah. So a little bit of warm water would be nice. Not alcohol, not alcohol. Okay? Not Coke. No, no, no. No cola, no, no. Not tea also. Just warm water. Okay? Because water is the elixir of life. And water, warm water goes well with rejuvenating the forces of life, rejuvenating that which maintains life alive, but with a little warmth. Oh, I can't begin to tell you what happens when you're having something. This is a different kind of recovering from a fever. Your tissues have been going through some moment, and you kind of when you're recovering from say fever, you're having something warm to drink and which is nurturing, nourishing, but without it tensing your body, tensing your physiology, then it's a light kindness, it's a light gentleness, it's a light care, which actually helps you go beyond your health challenge. Like sometimes this mulgatoni, so to speak, yeah, pepper rasam, just warm, not too hot, not hot, hot, warm, warm. Like you can drink it, but you don't want to just gulp, gulp, yeah. It's not so piping hot, but it's warm enough that you don't want to gulp it. It's a different, gentle, kind swallowing. Yeah, you sip it, you want to sip it, and not gulp it. So that kind of a warmth. Not really lukewarm, but a little more warmer than lukewarm. Yeah. Okay. Now on that note, I'm going to pause. Yeah. I hope you have a nice little moment. Yeah. Just take a walk. You could feel the air about your neck. That would help. Uh, Walk with your feet bare because that does something to your skin, to your composition, to your front versus back and sides too. And the neck would definitely appreciate that because cranial nerves move through this valley between head and shoulders. Yeah, between brain and heart. Oh, IT, where you consider your every other region other than your head to be your body, like heart. Yeah. So that's a different kind of an integration. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been of value to you and try paying attention to any smell in the environment because paying attention to smell in the environment helps your body heal in a way that just paying attention to warmth about your skin doesn't, or the air on your skin doesn't. Because air moves between your nose, throat to lungs. So paying attention to smell helps integrate and improve health of the physiological functions of this part of your body. Yeah. In a way that not paying attention to smell doesn't. Yeah, it's a fine little detail, but you have that. Yeah, just try that. Yeah, feel the air about your skin and sense the smell as you're walking. Yeah. Thank you so much for your kind interest. Good day.